All right, let's do this again because I see that I was muted. So you know what I got to do. So I'm that guy, the idiot, Joe Quills. We're looking at Del Mar today, races 5, 9, 10, 11. The Green Flash, race 5, and the Pacific Classic, race 10. They are both races for Breeders' Cup winning your ring races. So we're going to take a look at that. Race 5 is a um, Race 5 is for the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. They're going 5 furlongs on the grass today, and then we're going to look at race 9, which is the Del Mar Oaks, and race 11, the Del Mar Mile, both on the grass. But the main race and the race of the summer meet is race number 10, the Pacific Classic. They're going a mile and a quarter. Winner gets an invite to the Breeders' Cup Classic. So a lot of things going on there at Del Mar. What I was saying when I was muted, this time of year, I want to focus in on those Breeders' Cup winning your in races within the United States. Yes, there's going to be some races that slip through the cracks here and there. I think that may happen next week. But yeah, a couple of races are going to slip through the cracks there just because there's so many of them. But um, but yeah, so we'll have action here from Del Mar today. We'll look at those 4 races on the card here, all graded stakes races, and we get some news. There is some pretty significant news out of Saratoga as well. So um, they got they got a big racing card here. They got a big racing card as well with the ballerina and the the Alabama. Wait. I haven't. Do I have it on here? Let me see. Yeah, I do. Wait, I've been waiting to use this all year, and we're not covering the race today. But what race is it, Forrest Gump? Alabama. There you go. So I got news in regards to that as well here. Um, so lots to do here today. Hopefully, I can get you out of here by 11 o'clock, but it looks like we're going to be a little late today. Um, so just want to let you guys know as we start today's show um, that whatever provider you use to wager on the horses, always check the promotions. I've been using FanDuel for a while now, and they have a promotion They have a promotion today where you get up to $20 back if your horse finishes second or third. I will pull that up here. Um, and that is all races today. And you know the deal with them, with FanDuel. $20 back if your win bet finishes second or third on all eligible races there, and they give the terms and conditions underneath. I have to opt into it, so guess what? I'm going to opt in right now just to show you guys I'm all in. So that is for today. If the races have less than 5 betting interests, no money back specials available. If you have 5, 6, or 7 horses in a race, your horse must finish second. And 8 horses or more, you get your money back if your horse finishes second or third, up to $20 today. So a good promotion that they have there today. So, but if you use other platforms, I recognize that because you may like Twin Spires, you might like Naira Bets, you might like First Bet, you might like whatever's out there. Always check promotions because of my motto, which is if it's free, it's for me. Well, not everything free for me, but I doubt that I could walk over to, well, because school starts Monday in the Philadelphia public school system, I doubt that I could get a backpack for free because, one, I don't have kids. Two, I don't look like that. But anyways, you get the idea. So yeah. So I'll show you a couple of things that, if it's free, it's for me. We'll get into that when we pull up the program as well. So one little bit of news here, and AJ brought it to my attention yesterday because originally Irad Ortiz was supposed to be out until this week. He was supposed to come back this week from his foot and ankle injury. He is out today, or is still out. So he's going to miss a ride on Counting Stars today in the Alabama. Wait, what race was that, Forrest?
Excuse me.
Whoops, wrong one. This one.
Alabama.
There you go. And he may not be riding Renegade in next week's Travers. So this is, I'm getting this from the Pollock Report. It was originally on the Daily Racing Form. Irad Ortiz will not ride Counting Stars in the Grade 1 Alabama. His status is now that he's off all mounts until further notice due to a left foot injury he sustained in a pre-race incident in Saratoga on August 8th. And basically, and I'm not going to show the video of that, but probably be hard to find it. Probably could find it on Naira's YouTube, but I don't feel like looking for it. Leading up to that race, they were warming up. The horse that he was on veered toward the outside gate when it was warming up and slammed into the rail. And of course, what hits the rail? Irad's foot. So that's why he's out right now. So Ortiz's agent, Steve Rushing, said that he's out until further notice. Rushing told the Daily Racing Form that Ortiz's injury could prevent him from riding Renegade next weekend in the Grade 1 Travers. So hopefully they are prepared just in case. Just in case he has to take off all mounts next week. So he worked a horse out yesterday, and the decision was take off this weekend's mounts was made after Ortiz was in pain after working a horse with Brad Cox yesterday, according to Rushing. So Irad will be off all mounts today, this weekend, and maybe we see him next week. I think it appears that this injury is a week-to-week thing. So, but then again, aren't we all day-to-day? Aren't we all week-to-week? But in sports, that means a different thing, and Irad will be out for now. So, and yeah, so hoping Irad gets back soon. So good luck to him on his return. So, so Jose Ortiz will be riding today for Mark Casse. So he goes from the one brother to the other, which, it's like going from Tarek Skubal to whoever the next Cy Young candidate is. So you get, or Jacob Mizorowski. There you go. So that's what it basically looks like. So even though we're not covering the race today, Counting Stars will be running today. Jose Ortiz will ride. According to the article here for the Alabama Stakes here today, Irad Ortiz was named to ride Counting Stars on Saturday for Post 6, but he's out indefinitely. His brother will pick up the mount for Mark Casse. So, and if he or she, if his horse wins, his filly, because they're starting to get to that time, okay, here it is. It's always special to be odds on in a Grade 1 stakes, which Counting Stars figured to be against 5 rivals, none of whom has won a stakes race in the $600,000 Alabama at a mile and a quarter. Always a runner. Okay, always a runner is being pointed to the cotillion. So I misread that. Always a runner who won the Kentucky Oaks. She is being pointed towards the she's getting pointed towards the cotillion, and maybe we have Counting Stars there as well. Hopefully Mark Casse has better luck this year in the cotillion, unlike last year. So let's get to these 4 races here today, and I highly doubt we will see any scratches even before we close out the stream here today, because of the fact that they don't start till 5 o'clock today, and West Coast tracks, no deal with them, oh yeah, because I was talking Parks there. Parks is going to be part of the summer schedule here. You got Kentucky Downs planned for the 5th, and I say planned because they have no main track to go to or a Tapeta track if there's rain. So if we have a cancellation in 2 weeks, we will have to pivot to something else, probably in a hurry. Woodbine the 12th, Woodbine Mile, EP Taylor, and they have a couple other Win Your Rim races. I got to clean this up because I don't like the way that looks. September 19th, the day after my birthday, got Greenwood Cup is not a graded, or is it? Let me double check that as well, because sometimes you see stuff and well after the fact you're like, oh, that ain't right. Let's listen to a Grade 3 race. So we're going to go by what the Daily Racing Form says here. I will check the Equibase book as well, but none of those races are Breeders' Cup winning your in races. But you have the Greenwood Cup going a mile and a half, Gallant Bob 6 furlongs for 3-year-olds, Cotillion for 3-year-old fillies, and 3-year-olds in the Pennsylvania Derby. And then right now we're leaning towards Santa Anita on the 26th. They have a couple of different races there, so we will get that. We will be doing that as of right now in the month of September. So, so tune in on QARacing.com, the Q&A Sports Zone YouTube, my Twitch, and my YouTube, where you can get all the information of these 4 races. So let's get to the races here, and we're going to begin with race number 5, which is the Green Flash Handicap. And just to let you guys know, at least later on in the day, okay, so they do have lineups for the races in Saratoga today. And also they're going to have races from Del Mar today. So you can at least watch some of those races, at least the last 3 races on FS2 and FS1. But I will say that the best thing to do if you're going to watch, especially Saratoga today, watch it on YouTube. Go to the NYRA YouTube channel, and you can watch the races from 12:30 onward. Now they'll black out between 6 and 7 because that'll be on Big Fox, so that will be on there. But they do have racing from Del Mar this afternoon. They're covering the Pacific Classic, and they'll be covering Del Mar next year as well. So a lot of going on there. So let's get to these races here, and we're going to begin with race number 5 here. And let me pull up the program here, and let's zoom this out as much as possible. All right, we're going to do it like this. Nah, you know what? You don't need to see me. There we go. All right, so we're going to begin with race number 5 here, and that, first of all, you got to move the race 5, dummy. The Green Flash here, they're going 5 furlongs in the turf. We have a field of 10 in this race, and that's what I like to do. First thing I like to do with these particular programs from the Daily Racing Form, in the digital sense, I will scroll down to see how many are in this race. So that's the very first thing I look at. So favorite in this race is the 6 Motorius, and he is an 8-year-old gelding, still running big races, and he ended up finishing 2nd in this optional claiming race at Del Mar. First race in a 7-month layoff. He closed well, but was outkicked by the winner in an optional claiming race, that we're looking at here. Obviously, that was a prep race for today, because you see that he's run all the big races over the last couple of years, and I can probably, and I can open up all the lines here. Once they figured out, hey, he can sprint, you can see he's been in all the big races over the years. So, yeah, he's 26 races into his career, has run well. Throws in the occasional clunker like he did in December, got time off. But if he gets the same trip, he should win this race here. So he should be able to get his nose down here. And basically what happened in this race here, we'll go to Sumter in a second. Sumter was on the outside of Motorius coming into the lane, and just had a stronger kick that day. So, Motorius probably had the lead briefly, but with the angle of the camera, you probably can't really tell, but did have the lead late in that race and just couldn't hold on. Sumter did not run well in last year's race. Motorius actually is the defending champion, having won in a disqualification area after getting trouble trip at the beginning of the race here. But Sumter comes in today and closed well and was on the outside of Motorius for that win. And also, just to let you know that behind the scenes, I'm also editing my text here as well. So when I'm flying solo like I am today, we do have I do have the liberty of checking my notes here as I go along here. So Sumter did win that optional claiming race there. They were set up by a nice speed duel there. He's usually further back than the favorite, Probably going to have to go wide again this afternoon to get his nose down today in this race here. So, but has won grade threes, has won races sprinting, has one going down the hill. So down the hill at Santa Anita. Also, probably probably set up for a big another big race here. And Mike Smith. Now he's approaching 60, if he isn't 60 already. Obviously in great shape. Doesn't need to run many races anymore. He's running in the big races because he can still produce in those big races. So Sumter, 4-1 on the morning line. We'll see what he can do here today as well. The 8 No Nay Hudson races for the first time since April. And I do want to show one thing here. Let me pull it up here because so here is Juan Hernandez. He won a Breeders' Cup win in your in race in the UK. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he was in the UK yesterday, and he won that race. So here is Juan Hernandez. He's rushing to get a plane, get a helicopter so he can get his plane to go from Heathrow, London to LA. And this was the scene right after that race. Here you go.
Yeah, well done to the winning assistant trainer there. This, the winning rider, well, he went fast in the race and even faster after the race to get to the helicopter, and a quick getaway for Juan Hernandez. Lovely performance in the saddle, and he's not sticking around long on the Knavesmire. Hopefully we'll see him back soon with Bashir, though it sounds like the Breeders' Cup could be next on the agenda. Good stuff there. Heading back to wherever he's come from. Dave, what do you make of Bashir? That was something else, wasn't it, earlier on?
That was quite something.
So that was Juan Hernandez, and he was looking to get from London to LA, and then he was going to drive down from LA to San Diego. Juan Hernandez. And there was a, let me see if I can find it here. So, okay, so we have additional updates here. Just to let you guys know that he did make his flight. Here's his here's his Instagram. So he went from Kentucky to the UK, wins that race. Oops, probably shouldn't have played that. Okay, so let's turn that down. Actually, we're going to mute that. So you can tell I didn't watch this ahead of time, but he wins in the UK. And, the slow-mo and all that stuff, come on. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, he did make his flight. So he is on his way to Del Mar for today's races. And let me just see what this next one is. Okay. So he won the Coolmore City of Troy Nunthrop Stakes. So, and congrats to him on winning that race. Congrats to Baccio At least I think that's how it's pronounced. But he has a horse. I don't know what Breeders' Cup race that's for, but okay. So, and if this video is not available on YouTube, after this, I do apologize because I messed up. I didn't realize I was going to be a video in there, music in there. So I do apologize. So None Hudson, first race in 4 months, races there. Showed nothing in the Shakertown there in April, got some time off there. And we'll see if he's ready. But Wesley Ward, who trained Baccio, or however you pronounce that horse's name, I do apologize if I'm wrong. As you can see there on the screen here, he does win 26% of the time over the last year or so, off of layoffs of 61 to 180 days, so between 2 and 6 months. So that is good as well if you're looking forward to seeing him run. And he's also run in this race the last 2 years, that I can tell here from these 12 races. Finished third in the Green Flash, got out finished by Motorius in that race. Last year finished fourth to Motorius and Reef Runner. Reef Runner was DQ'd horse. So does have the ability to run well, especially off the layoffs. So it's just that you had that clunker in there. So but obviously will be bit interesting here in this race here at 5-1 on the morning line here. So if he's ready, he's going to be closing in this race here. He closed in winning the Arctic at Woodbine, which that was the inner turf because they had started the renovation project that they had won. So that will be a horse worth looking at as well. The 7 Virat maybe on the lead in this race, but he could also be not far off the pace as well, because I'll show you the horses that should be on the lead here. Now he wasn't far off the pace in a separate optional claiming race there, closed in one there, a little bit of a slower time than the one that Sumter and Motorius were in, but did get a perfect trip right behind the leaders and closed to win that race there. And if he's dueling with the leaders, he's going to get cooked. But I think that he can sit right behind the leaders, and then it's just a matter of can he sustain his kick with some of the stronger closers in this race here. Now, the one Monster runs very fast, as you can see there. Went 21 flat, 43-4 in that race at a race where he got bumped at the break as well. So he should be going for the lead. Mescalero probably will go for the lead. So if he takes advantage of that position, goes for the lead, he's probably going to get cooked as well. Mana Rose may go for the lead. So that's a possibility there. Encanto, maybe, but throwing a clunker against Virat last time. We talked about Sumter, Motorius, Virat, None Hudson. Sorrento Sky could be a closer that ruins my picks in this race. So just to let you guys know, because the one thing I always tell you guys is even if I don't give you the winning horse, even if I give you something, a little nugget here, if you're not going to pick my horse, I hope you guys win with the horses that you select. So that's how I feel. And Saratoga Special really hasn't done much in the last couple of races there. second race off the layoff, so that may be a little bit of a may help with that after that Daisy Cutter race. So I'm going to take a flyer here, not a Philadelphia flyer, not a Dayton flyer, but I'm going to go with No Nay Hudson here. Usually runs well fresh. I mean, even if you go back to 24, well, he finished 5th in this race. What are you talking about? Only lost by a length. February at the Fairgrounds. Probably needed that race. Won in April at Keeneland, but that's technically a layoff for daily racing form purposes. Del Mar was a 3-month thing, no final kick, but still finished 4th. And of course the April one where you kind of raised the red flags there, but I'm going to take a chance here on No Nay Hudson. So that is my choice here in the 5th here, the Green Flash Handicap. Winner gets an invite to the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint on Halloween weekend. And then we skip ahead to race 9. And these 3 races are going to be on FS1 today. So just to let you guys know, if you want to watch it on regular TV, FS1 is where you want to go. Or maybe you do what I do and just watch it off of the Del Mar feed. So we have a field of 10 here. And favored is Kensington Lane to 9. And shocked that field in the Belmont Oaks, winning pretty much gate to wire. I say pretty much because that first turn, that first call was 2.5 lengths back, but ended up taking the lead early and just drew off. Did hold on a little bit there, but was a handy win. A win, won handily. That's what I'm trying to say. Does change trainers here, and I think that's more because hey, a lot of times these horses, when they come from international to the United States, a lot of times they may run a race here in North America, and it's like, hey, or maybe there was an agreement after the race or something. But so she's going to race for a second time here in North America after that 23-1 shot win. It's going to look to make it 2 for 2 in North America. Could have a similar race pattern here where she's not far up the lead and tries to take over there. So obviously bred royally for the grass. Galileo is in there. Galileo was, I believe, 14 for 14 lifetime or something like that. So, but does have that ability here. Does have that ability to win big races here. So, so we'll see what she does here in this race here this evening at Del Mar. The 4 Green Carrera, and I know AJ, if he were on the show today, he'd say, I'm passing. I will say this, do not pass this horse up. 7-2 on the morning line. And yes, you are going to dig. You're going to have to dig a little bit. You're going to have to pull up those videos. Now, that race couldn't get to the winner there. Actually had a slow start. It was closing, just couldn't get to the winner that day. So you could argue when you watch this video from Killarney in Ireland that maybe this horse did lose a little bit at the start there, and it cost her the win. Now, that race at Royal Ascot, I love playing these horses that have an experience of facing 30 horses. Now, in a race like this at Royal Ascot, it's a 1 mile straight run, and the course is so wide that when if you do get a chance to watch this race, basically you have a group to the far side and a group to the near side. So this horse just sat and sat for about 3/4 of the race, then took off and won by a couple of lengths there and rode the inside rail to that win. So you're going to see a horse here today who has a strong closing kick. You may wonder, well, what about these? What about going 1 1/8 miles? Yeah, I'd like to actually let me see if I can find some information on that. Doubt that I will, but or if it is, it's not complete information. Because one thing I will say to you guys is, all the analytical stuff that you see on here, take it with a grain of salt, because even with numbers and everything like that, I will say that it is, they still have to run the race. Let me see here. Now, Luke de Vega, according to Twin Spires, which uses Brisnet, okay, and they have 1,807 foals. His horses win at 8.6 furlongs on average. So if that is an accurate number, this filly should be able to handle the distance no problem. So keep that in mind as well, because in some regards you are going to have to do some digging. So just to keep that in mind for you guys. So Green Carrera does have that strong closing kick, and I think that she can, it may be that she's going to be able to run all day if the pedigree numbers are suggesting. The 3 Tam Tam has found a home on the turf, has won 4 of 5, broke the maiden on the turf, won the Sanibel Island, lost the Edgewood by a nose, or 3 of 5, I should say. Faced a tough field in the Regret Stakes there, and won easily in the Tepin Stakes there. But she did tire in that Regret Stakes, which is today's distance. She may be on the lead, but I wouldn't be surprised if she tries to rate right off the speed in this race here. She has done that in the Sanibel Island. So just a matter of where Junior Alvarado places her out of the infield chute there. So be interested to see what they do with her. The 10 Rating Party finished third in the San Clemente here last month, closing. Rallied from 8 wide there, and pretty much wide all the way around. So has the outside post again today. May not be ideal. And she can probably work a trip from the back of the pack here. So I wouldn't rule her out either. So keep that in mind as well. Some of the other horses in this race, Victorious Dream, big step up in class here, but it has won 2 in a row. Probably will need a miracle to do that. But looking at Diamond, first race in almost 3 months there. Finished third in the Honeymoon last time out. Probably be closing, but we'll see what she does there. We talked about Tam Tam. We talked about Green Carrera. Define broke the maiden here, first time in the United States at Ellis Park. Ends up coming over to California, trying to get into the Breeders' Cup. And also another horse, same sire there, so should be able to get the distance as well. And this may be a light bulb race for her. So, but obviously they have high hopes with her, and they're bringing her over to Del Mar. Inbox is 6, finished second in the race. I mean, I guess if you like Rating Party here at 4-1, Inbox 10-1, but she did veer in towards the end of the race, so I would be a little worried about that, but does have a strong closing kick here. But, you know, might be a long shot play here, potentially. Peanut Butter Bomb finished 4th in the race here. Has won a maiden race, won the optional claiming race here, but going to step up here and also go longer. Wild Like the West here had to check at the 16th pole, so may have an excuse there, but still 30-1 on the morning line. So definitely going to need a better race here. Need all kinds of luck here in this tough spot. Kensington Lane we looked at. Rating Party we looked at. Now, even before I went digging to see the information on Lope de Vega or Lope de Vega, however you pronounce that, but I'm also a fan of playing horses who recently ran in these monster fields over in the UK or Europe or wherever. The fact that you beat 30 horses in this race is impressive. Now, granted, you probably beat technically 15. And the reason why I say technically 15 is because of the fact that races like this that are a straightaway, like this was, you have one group to the left, one group to the right. It's almost like Jimmy Buffett's fins. Fins to the left, fins to the right. So you do have an opportunity here that this horse can close. And I like Green Carrera here. I'm going to go 4-9-10-3. Green Carrera over Kensington Lane, Rating Party, and Tam Tam. So 4-9-10-3 in the Del Mar Oaks. And then we're going to go to race 10, which is the main event here. And that is also the race of the day on Daily Racing Form. And do want to mention one other thing here as well. Remember I said if it's free, it's for me. Well, if you're a fan of Canadian racing, you have racing from Century Mile. They have the Canadian Derby today going 1.25 miles. Yeah, a lot of 1.25 mile races today. A lot of 1.25 mile races even all the way to Monday, because Parks has a starter allowance or an optional claiming race going 1.25 miles. But when you click on that link for Century Mile, for example, you get this page here. And you just click download PPs and you can bet on Century Mile tonight. Also, if you go back over here, you have the cross country pick 5, which is Saratoga and Del Mar today. Just click on that and voila, you get those races as well. So just showing you guys different ways here. And the thing is, when you pull up the feed there, now the thing is, they're giving it to you 1 through 5 as the cross country pick 5. You are going to have to do some work if you want to play these races at Saratoga, because the first 2 races are the 2 biggest races from Saratoga. You have the Ballerina, or I'm sorry, the Boston Spa, my bad. And you have the Alabama. Wait, what race was that, Forrest?
Alabama.
Thank you. So you got to field a 6 in that race. Counting stars 1 to 2, probably be 1 to 9. If you feel like this horse is going to throw in a clunker, This may be a bridge jumping race, so keep your eyes on that, even though they have pending breakage there. And then you have the Green Flash, which we looked at, the Del Mar Oaks, and the Pacific Classic. So all different ways to get free programs here. And if you watch my other show, which is the Joe Quill Show, which is on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, but some will wonder, is he really hosting on Thursday nights? Because I haven't been on there the last couple of weeks. I will say that on Monday's show, I did show my co-host Mike my "If It's Free, It's For Me," and I've been saying that I'm going to be doing a video of that. I just haven't posted it yet, or I haven't created it yet. But this may be a perfect example of me doing something like this, where even if you want to play like just those 5 races, yeah, you're going to have to work and see, well, what race is the Saratoga race? Yeah, you might have to dig a little bit on the Daily Racing Forum website or whatever site or platform you're using, but you can get that information and then play it as a single race. You know, you can let your imagination run wild with those programs. And the Century Mile program, especially if you're from up north, you know, even though we had that 50% tariff thing that came down overnight for Canadian products, you know, I would definitely say that that's how you can get some free programs as well. So, but anyways, let's get to the Pacific Classic here. We have a field of 11 in this race, and nice that I stopped right there, because Knightsbridge is favored in this race, and he's bred to go. Oh wait, I want to do one thing here, because I kind of want to show some things here with this race. So this is your free race of the day. And even if you go to the main Daily Racing Forum page, and you get the free PPs there. Not what I wanted to do. There we go. Let's pull it back up here. So when you pull that up, you're going to get the free program for that particular race. And you're going to get additional information here. And as long as you have an account on Daily Racing Forum, you can get additional information here as well. You can watch this race from August 1st from Omen Joy, if I can get it to come up. See, you know, so that
Are all in line.
So you can pull that information up if you wanted to. You can just pull up the previous race as well, things like that. So, as I was saying, Knightsbridge is favored in this race. And Flavien Prat rode Knightsbridge at Monmouth, destroyed that field. Probably the highest buyer all year, a 122 in the Monmouth Cup. And that was right before the rains hit, I believe. But also didn't face much, only faced 5 horses, but passed the distance test. Now, I'll let you guys know a couple of different things here. And this is why I'm glad this is the race of the day, because I'm going to show you some information about Omen Joy, even though Omen Joy is not one of my picks in this race. Nyquist, and has 707 offspring. So, you know, you're getting to the point here, especially with 5,000 races run by his offspring, that the sample size is pretty large. His offspring went at 7.1 furlongs. And, you know, mile and a quarter and onward, 9% winners. A little worried about that, but I'm not worried about that too much. So the thing is, now I don't know if it was a health issue. I don't know if it's just Bill Mott was feeling like these are the indications that this horse is giving me, because this horse can definitely go a long way, and finally got to prove it there at Monmouth. I mean, even the dam, Tyburn Brook, her offspring, 3 of 5 foals have been winners. They average 7.4 furlongs, and that's because of Bernardini and AAP Indy. They're also horses that got a lot of distance out of their siblings or their offspring. So this horse is bred to go a long way. It's just that he never got to prove it until the Monmouth Cup. And if he doesn't run a big race there, obviously he wouldn't be here today. But he pretty much went gate to wire here. Figures to be going for the lead here because of the fact that he's got the outside post. Now, granted, he's going to have 5/16 of a mile to get over as close to the rail as possible. But I think that he does get pretty much over towards the rail, and I think that he may be sitting right off the pace here because Navajo Warrior, 2 stalls to his left, is going to gun for the lead. At least I think. And this was a race that we covered last month from Prairie Meadows, and he just went to a huge lead and no one could get him that day. That's, and also kept the task, which basically, stay focused here. So obviously Safi Joseph had some big plans, and he's proving me wrong, Safi that is, that he is not just a Gulfstream Park horse. He has shown that he can win these big races all around the country. I mean, he has done it, but it seems like that percentage I used to say about 90 to 95% wins in Gulfstream, he has proven me wrong with that. So, but this time of the year, the tougher races for his top horses are across the country, not just in South Florida. So, but did win the Pimlico Special on the front end, did win the Cornhusker on the front end, has shown that he can win from off the pace there. But that was only a 4-horse race, so probably going to be close to the lead here in this race here. That's what I'm figuring here. So keep that in mind here. But he has won from off the pace here. I think that's what probably be what's best for him. But I think Knightsbridge, could be that horse. But we'll see if he can go the 1.25 miles again. I mean, he can go the 1.25 miles. He did win a 1 3/16, so you figure that extra 110 yards shouldn't be a factor here. So Navajo Warrior is 8-1 on the morning line. Maybe a long shot play here. So keep that in mind as well. The 6 Original Sin here. Threw in a clunker there in the Suburban. Wasn't that wide into the first turn, but was just at the back of the pack. And the best races, while Keeneland was from last, but probably best suited being closer to the pace, not necessarily on the lead, but sit right behind. So that may be something that you could use here in this race. So, and also Curlin. Whoops, wrong one. Let's go back over here. Original Sin, Curlin, one of the top sires in terms of distance for his offspring, 7.7 per win. And that's with almost 15,000 races run by over 1,300 offspring. So, just want to mention that as well. So that is worth looking at as well. The 7-hit show, Phileas Fogg just blew this field away here on the 4th of July. Got bumped a little bit there, but I would say that he's, pun intended, because they're right near the Pacific Ocean. He's getting his sea legs back. He did run a good race in the Blaine. Did have some traffic trouble there. So had kind of some trouble there. So maybe a play here for those that want to stay away from Knightsbridge. So that may be a play here as well. Now, some of the other horses here in this race. Omen Joy here. I'm going to show this number here. And this is a filly taking on the boys. She has run two very good races against other females, but it's going to have to run a monster race if she has a shot here, or they're going to have to run a meltdown pace here. I mean, everything's going to have to melt down, including the grandstand there. But one thing I want to show here, Ohm. Now, granted, this is a small sample size of 150 offspring, 819 races. Winning distance of 5.4 furlongs. His offspring is only winning 5.4, which is almost a quarter of a mile less on average than other horses. And Munnings is not that great. Munnings is a horse that is very good with horses that sprint as well. Now, where does she get this stamina from? And sometimes when you look at these races, like the perfect example I will give you is Cigar, bred royally for the turf. Did not like the turf, did not take to the turf. Bill Mott one day says, put him on the dirt, what the hell? Ends up winning 16 in a row. So where does she get that stamina from? Margie's Minute, 4 of her 5 foals have been winners. 17 of 84. So, for a mare, that's a lot of races. 7.6 average win distance. So she is getting that distance, getting distance from her foals. And Hard Spun finished second in the Kentucky Derby, finished third in the Preakness, has shown that he can go those long distances. And he's one of those horses that has had those sire numbers that are in the 7s. I don't think we have a Hard Spun running this race here, do we? No. Okay. So when you first look at Ohm, you're like, how's she running? How's she doing this? It's the dam side that's doing it. So that's what's allowing her to fit in these longer races. But she will have to run a mile and a quarter today. But she is stepping up big time in class here. So keep that in mind as well. Forge Steel didn't fire in the Suburban either. Tired in that race. Did buckle at the start. Did win the Gold Rush here. And mind you, that Gold Rush, I'm confusing races here because I thought maybe Skippy Longstocking was in that race, but wasn't. I think he threw a fit leading up to another race, but in that Gold Cup here, gate to wire going a mile and a quarter. Tired in the Temperance Hill going longer, but Parchment Party was in that race. Parchment Party actually lost by a nose last week in the and the Birdstone going 1 mile and 3/4. So a little disappointed in that one because I was like, he's going to win this. He's going to win this. But has proven can get the distance. And once again, Vekoma, 6.6. So little light there, but 6.6 does get you offspring that win the Kentucky Derby. But Vekoma did run the Kentucky Derby. It does get that distance. So, and then scorecard. Yeah, there you go. 3 out of 5, 67 races, 8.3. So he's getting it, especially from the dam side. So that's worth looking at there. Now, Finger, you're probably going to have a hard time finding these videos. I could not find them. And I did a little search last night. I did a little search again this morning. Just could not find any video on this. According to what the handicapper said here, I'm going to be testing older rivals for the first time. Won the first 2 legs of the Japanese Triple Crown, if I remember correctly. Can he rate? That's the question. Of course, with the international races translating to American programs and past performances, very little information. Even with Japanese races, you don't even get a comment here. So thankfully this race doesn't go off until 9:43 actually. So you may want it, if you're interested in this horse, I would recommend trying your damnedest to find these videos, but just to give you an idea, Gun Runner 7.4 with the average winning distance. So, with the mystery horses there, you got to piece things together and hopefully find videos and stuff like that. But has never been worse than second in a race, but going to be facing older horses, going to face these, going to be in the United States for the first time. But those Japanese horses have really been doing well in those North American races over the last few years. And my horse in the Derby did it 28-3, was playing the role of the Atlanta Falcons up 28-3 in the Super Bowl. But I digress. Subsanador, probably, had a year and a half off. Really hasn't shown much. Takes a couple of months off here. I'm going to pass on him. Malarchuk, I'm imagining it's named after that goalie who had that issue with the blade in hockey many years ago. But this horse was second to Forge Steel in that race. Just couldn't keep up. But then again, Forge Steel ran a huge race that day. Probably going to pass on him as well. Original Sin I mentioned. Hit Show I mentioned. British Isles finished 4th in the Gold Cup. I think this was my pick that day. I don't know. But has won at 1.25 miles. Won the Santa Anita Handicap. That was the race. Okay. There we go. Yeah, Skippy Longstocking in March threw a fit when they were trying to get him to California, and he did not, and he was scratched. So that was the race. So, but, we'll see what he can do here. I'm almost tempted to put him back on the turf, but, that's just me. Navajo Warrior we talked about. Full Serrano, first race since March. Has had some stamina building workouts here. Has a 6 furlong there, a 5 there, a 5 there at Del Mar, a 6 at Del Mar, and another 6 at Del Mar. So getting him ready for this race. Lost a heartbreaker 2 years ago to Mixto. Probably is going to need a race, but I would not be surprised if this horse does get involved late. But I got to go with the favorite here, Knightsbridge. I don't think Bill Mott. I do not think that Bill Mott brings this horse to California just for whatever, craps and giggles, let's just say. I think he knows his horse is going to win. I know his horse feels like his horse can win this race. Otherwise, you don't ship him from the Saratoga base all the way out west. And, you know, I think with the front running speed that he has, I think that he's going to take this field gate to wire here. I showed you guys he's bred for these distances. And, you know, they're little. And there may have been health issues early on that said, oh, we going to run these 7 furlong races, or that was how he felt. And it's like, after it's like, yeah, let's try it. Because if we don't get the Monmouth Cup, then maybe we just go back to mile racing. But you gotta take that chance here, get a berth in the Breeders' Cup Classic. I think he gets it done here, going a mile and a quarter here. So I'm going 11.679 here. I'm going with Knightsbridge over Original Sin here, in what should be a nice exacta as well. So 11.6 here, and then 7-9. And then the finale at 10:16 tonight. Whoops. Let's fix that. Let's go back to the classics. We have the Del Mar Mile. Obviously, it's a mile going on a turf. But the thing is, there are a couple of races that are called mile races, like the Presque Isle Mile, which is running a mile and a 16th. There was a race at Detroit Race Course many years ago, the Michigan Mile. It ran at a mile and an 1/8. But I get why Presque Isle Mile is such, because it's a mile track, you know. But anyway, so we're going to close things out here with the Del Mar Mile, and they're going a mile, obviously, on the turf here. 12 in this race here, so we got a full field, and El Patente is favored, has the misfortune of being on the far outside here. And unlike the Classic, the Pacific Classic, where Knightsbridge gets 2.5 furlongs to get as close to the rail as possible, El Patente only gets about 3/16 of a mile. So, but, you know, he can close if he needs to. You know, that race in March, he did close well. So, but has shown the tendency to go for the lead. So he could put himself in the position here that he could be closing late, if he wants to be in that position. But he has worked on the turf leading to this race here. A minute 1 going around the dogs at Del Mar. Like I said last week when we were looking at these races, looking at the races last week, all the dogs means is it's not a question of who let the dogs out. It's just like pylons to protect the inner portion of the turf. So, or track if you had the dogs around the main track, but you get the idea here. So, but he draws the outside here. Probably will have to get over quickly because of the fact that he draws the 12 hole in this race here. The 10 flyover, I'm going to gun for the lead here. So if El Patente does try to go for the lead here, probably going to be at the hip of flyover here. When we tried to go 5 furlongs in an allowance race here, little, you know, was pressured all the way around, then yielded late here. So, so there's an excuse there of being pressured, but you're probably going to be pressured again today with El Patente. So, so keep that in mind here if you like flyover in this race here. The 5 Detain. Has run well, going back into graded stakes company here. First time in North America doing that. Has run well in these 2 races. Mike McCarthy has set this colt up nicely for this race here. So has a strong closing kick there and should be ready to go here. And the thing is, you look at some of these races here, even if you're, even if we don't look at the videos of these races, you know that, the Chantilly race, Group 1, facing 18, that's a big race here. The French Guineas, that's a big race in France. Royal Ascot, the whole meet is huge. So has run some really tough races here. And, I think maybe they're overlooking this horse a little bit here. So ran some classy races in Europe, gets to do that here in North America today. King of Gosford did win on the lead in the Wicker, but I don't think necessarily needs the lead. The Shoemaker Mile a year ago closed from near the back of the pack to win that race here. Almost did it again this year. So bit of versatility with this horse. And, I think this horse will be sitting off the pace here. And don't be surprised if you see this horse flying late at the end here. So, but some of the other horses here, Cabo Spirit finished second in the Eddie Reed, drifted out there. Second race off the layoff, so probably tired in that race. So a lot of times when a horse drifts out, for those that are watching, they're like, well, why did that horse drift out? Probably because of the fact that the horse was starting to get tired. And a lot of times when a horse drifts outward, that's a sign that it's tired. Or you have a case of Nitrogen, who is a bit ADD, in my opinion. And don't tell Mark Cassidy I said that, but Mark Cassidy has said that she has a tendency of wandering around all over the stretch if she doesn't have a target to go after. So, but Seal Team tired as well in that race here in the Eddie Reed. Artist Lass tried to close, couldn't get to King of Gosford and Twirling Point there. Freedom's Not Free, didn't fire in that race, but did win the Daytona down the hill. Has run well going longer. Detain. Sinsel the 6, once again, could not find these races online. If you can find them, great. If you find something with these races here, and also, once again, 20 horse field in Brazil. If I had the information and look over those races, I would probably jump on this horse. But once again, the international translation back to America, not good. Almendarez needed that race in the Eddie Reed. I want to call that race the Andy Reid because I have a joke here with the Andy Reid, especially when he was in Philly. I said, yeah, they should have a race here at Parks called the Andy Reid. Well, it was Philadelphia Park at the time. They should have a race called the Andy Reid where you have 400-pound guys riding horses. Anyways, Almendarez is a stone cold closer. Astronomer. And Almendarez is probably the type of horse that will ruin everything here. Astronomer, first race in 3 months. Wasn't going in the right direction. Probably will need this race, but has run well fresh, as you can see there with that race in the Seabiscuit in November last year. King of Gosford, we mentioned. Flyover, we mentioned. Twirling Point, close strongly, just couldn't get by King of Gosford in that race. But that was at 31-1, maybe may trend back into the long shot, not do a darn thing type situation here. And El Patente is something we mentioned before. But I'm going to go with Detain here. I'm going to go with the upset here to close out the card here. You got several horses that are going to go for the lead. King of Gosford, probably going to be sitting right off the leaders. But I think that Detain gets to show his closing kick, and he gets up late for the win here. And that will be 5, 9, 12, 10 here in the finale here. I'm going with the 5-horse Detain in the finale. And one more edit I have to make before I post these articles. And these articles will be on Q&A Racing in a little bit. So also, just want to remind you guys that next Saturday, it is back to Saratoga. Got the Summer Derby, the Travers, Grade 1 race. And my phone's going off left and right for some reason right now. Going 1.25 miles on the dirt. That is a winning you're in for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Got the Ballerina 7 furlongs. That is for the filly and mare sprint. The Forgo Stakes 7 furlongs. That is a dirt mile winning you're in. And the Personal Ensign, that is for the distaff as well. So 4 winning you're in races. We're going back to the we're going to be covering as many of these winning you're in races as we can over the next few weeks. So that will be next week's show. And that is it for this show here. I will be back next Saturday with Saratoga, as you know. And if you want to check out my other show, the Joe Quill Show, Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern. Haven't been doing Thursdays last couple of weeks because it got a little stormy on Thursday. So I was like, But I was also, do I run? So check out that show Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 9 o'clock. Mike should be here on Monday, and show quickly goes off the rails, and we have some fun with it. So, but we'll be live here Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 9 o'clock. I'll be here next Saturday looking at the Travers and those other 3 races: the Ballerina, the Forgo, and the Ballerina, Forgo, and Personal Ensign. There we go. I had to take a look at that. So that is it for the show, and we went really long. Went almost an hour and a half here. I try to keep it under an hour, but never works. But because there's so much information I give you. So best of luck in your wagers, and we'll do it live Monday night on the Joe Quill Show. We'll do it Saturday for also eligible, looking at Saratoga. And hope everybody's a great day out there. Thanks everybody for watching, even after the fact. I know that this is a show that can be watched, but it is the information does expire quickly. So, but I do appreciate everybody. Let's do it live Monday night. If not, if you're just a Saturday morning person, I'll catch you next Saturday with the races from Saratoga. So have a great